The whole point is so that every country, every industry, every company has to come to Donald Trump on bended knee and beg. And he can dispense favors to, whoever his favored oligarchs or world leaders are. And he can punish anyone who dissents. That's the real, I want to start there. That's what is actually going on here. So, because if you look at these as an economic plan, you're just going to be like, this is insane. Like, it's idiotic, it's insane, it's stupid. How dumb can they be? Do not look at this as an economic plan.
Can I give you an example to back up your point here? So, they put 32% tariffs on Taiwan. Okay, we get our chips for all of our electronics from Taiwan. Now, Joe Biden wanted to change that for national security reasons, and he did the CHIPS Act, which would have created 115,000 manufacturing jobs here, high-paying factory jobs where we make the chips here. Trump comes in, kills the CHIPS Act, killing the 115,000 manufacturing jobs that Biden was going to bring back. And then he tariffs Taiwan, who we get our chips from now, which is just a massive tax on every electronic good that you can think of, that you would buy. So to Crystal's point, zero economic sense. So yeah, the idea is, like you said, it's like a mafia boss thing, right? I tariffed you, now you got to come back. Now, right now they're saying there's going to be no exceptions. But of course that's going to change, and when that changes, I'll view that as like final validation for the theory.
Yes.
That effectively what he's doing is twisting everybody's arm. And he could say, I demand a flat rate, or he could say, I demand a percentage. I'll take your tariff percentage from, let's say, 25%. I'll take it all the way down to 2%, but one of those percent is mine.
Right.
Just like a mafia boss.
Yeah, and the favored oligarchs will get their carve-outs, and in exchange...
Oil and gas already did, by the way.
And in exchange, they must be unflinchingly loyal to the great and powerful Donald Trump.
That's right.
That's the plan. So,
but he's out over his skis. This is not going to work in the long run.
So to give one more example of how utterly insane this is, Arnaud Bertrand laid out this example. So Lesotho is one of the poorest countries in Africa. They're part of a regional trading bloc that sets uniform tariffs. So they have the exact same tariff regime vis-a-vis us as South Africa does. So you would think, oh, then they must have been hit with the same quote-unquote reciprocal tariff. No. Lesotho was hit with a 50% tariff rate. Why? Because we import things like diamonds and other minerals from Lesotho. They are too poor, by and large, to afford like Teslas and iPhones. So we have a trade deficit with them. And Trump views this as that means that like we're getting screwed and they're ripping us off.
Oh my God.
And so Lesotho got hit with a 50% tariff rate. South Africa, which has, again, the identical level of tariffs as us, as Lesotho does vis-a-vis us, they're getting a 30% rate. Namibia, which is in the same block, 21%, Botswana, 37%, etc. So think about this. Even just like consider this one example. Do we want our domestic diamond mining industry to grow? Like, that's not even a possibility because we just don't have the stuff.
That's
right? So now you're devastating Lesotho. Like, this is going to be devastating for them because they do, our import market for their diamonds and whatever other minerals is important. So now they'll be even poorer and have even less of a chance to be able to afford, goods coming out of our market. It's idiotic on every level, except when you think about what the actual end goal is, which is for Donald Trump to consolidate power and be able to dispense the favors of a king or a monarch. Chris Murphy had a good thread about this. I don't know if you read through it. But he said, there's a reason why the founding of our republic, why we gave the power of the purse and to raise revenue to Congress.
To Congress, yeah, to avoid something like this.
Having this situation where the king, because this is, how it worked in monarchies, where the king uses this power to raise revenue as a threat and as a weapon. And so, Trump is just completely running roughshod over this. There are some legal questions over whether or not his grabbing of these extraordinary powers will survive legal scrutiny.
Yeah, because he says it's a national emergency.
Yes.
Which, okay, if there's court cases over that, you have to prove that, bitch. You have to prove there's a national emergency with the uninhabited island of penguins that you just slapped tariffs on.
That's right.
Good luck making that case.
I mean, listen, the courts previously have been very permissive of the president's ability to just declare something an emergency, and they've been they have very broadly interpreted that, especially specifically when it comes to tariffs. But
here he's lying. He's just lying.
Many of these justices, like, you know, the Federalist Society, they select justices because they're like Koch type libertarians.
Right.
They're like very pro-corporate. So you could see this all getting slapped down. There is some effort in the Senate right now, bipartisan, led by Chuck Grassley and I think Maria Cantwell, who's a Democrat, to pass legislation that says these have to be approved by Congress within 60 days. So we'll see where that ultimately goes. But even if the courts strike it down, or Congress is successful, or Trump himself, after a certain period of time, is like, just kidding, I struck a grand bargain and look at what a brilliant negotiator I am, blah, blah, blah. If you are any sensible business person, when you have this economic terrorist madman who is running the country, do you think that's going to inspire you to invest and grow and hire? Of course not. And to your point, already we've seen Stellantis announce that they're laying off 900 workers at 5 U.S. facilities. We've seen Whirlpool announce that in Iowa, they're going to have their largest layoff at a manufacturing facility there. Nearly 1/3 of the company's workforce at that Iowa facility will be let go due to current market conditions. So even the best case scenario at this point, where either the courts strike it down or Trump goes back or whatever, damage has already been done. And I cannot tell you how catastrophic all of this is to our country, to working class people. This is a massive regressive tax at a time when there is no buffer to, you know, economies around the world. We are all interconnected. It's hard to wrap your head around, honestly.
So you're a U.S. ally, and Trump starts threatening to invade you. Let's say you're Greenland. Let's say you're Canada. Let's say you're Panama. Trump starts threatening to invade you, steal you. Trump's taken 50% of Ukraine's natural resources. He wants a deal like that from them. And for the ones who aren't being threatened to be invaded, he's saying, I'm just going to tariff the fucking shit out of you. Even though we have a free trade deal, even though the letter of the law would be us having to abide by that trade deal, he ripped up his own trade deal with Canada. He made the fucking trade deal, and then he ripped it up. If you're one of those countries, you would be fucking insane to lay in a chalk outline of yourself and do nothing in response.
That's right.
So what we're seeing is, you got China, you got Japan, you got South Korea, they all banded together. And they said, if the U.S. tariffs us, we are tariffing them back as a block, right? You have the EU now considering shutting down their economy to all American goods. No more American imports. That's what they're discussing now. So my point is, Trump's actions rely on the notion that we are the indispensable nation and nobody can do anything without us ever, because we are the world reserve currency, because we have the most powerful military. This is what every action he's doing here, it relies on that fact. Here's the simple truth, though. That's not going to last much longer since you're acting like a fucking psychopath. People are going to, the whole point is, oh, the U.S. is going to be stable. The U.S. is going to be secure. There's going to be no chaos. They're going to set up a fair deal for everybody. If you come in there like a megalomaniac narcissist and you start doing stuff like this, everybody's going to be looking to strengthen ties with each other and abandon you. Everybody's going to be turning to China going, are you guys more reasonable than this fucking asshole? Because we'll make a deal with you. And so the biggest concern is, in the long run, everybody's going to be looking for the door when it comes to the world reserve currency. Why the fuck would you want the dollar to be the world reserve currency when we're run by the mad king? And people really, it's this like status quo bias of like, this is not going to change, right? Go ask fucking the Roman Empire how long it lasted. Go ask the British Empire how long it lasted. Go ask the fucking Malian Empire, or the various Chinese empires. History always changes, right? Things always change. And if you are out over your skis, it will eventually fucking catch up to you. And so that's the point that we're at right now. I really think it's a lack of imagination on the part of Trump and his advisors to realize that, like, in the long run, you are fucking everything. Now, they say in the long run, oh, we're trying to bring back American manufacturing. 100% that's not going to work. Because in order to get American manufacturing back, it's not only tariffs, it's also massive industrial policy where you spend a tremendous amount of government money to beef up our industries here that you want to thrive and succeed. They're not doing any industrial policy. In fact, they're cutting off the industrial policy that Joe Biden tried to do.
That's right.
At the same time, they're cutting our social safety net.
That's right.
So you're going to go after Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, go after the entire social safety net, cut U.S. science funding and things of that nature. Total austerity on that front. While at the same time doing massive tariffs, no American companies are going to bring jobs back. It's going to be the opposite. Like you said, they're firing people now already.
And these are manufacturing concerns too. I mean, we're talking about Whirlpool, and we're talking about Stellantis, car manufacturing.
That's right. Yeah.
So these are the very industries you claim
you're